Hi everyone, Sergio Zavallos here of New York Steakhouse at Caesars Windsor, bringing you my mother-in-law's South African Frikkadels, a delicious take on meatballs. We have 800 grams of beef. We have a medium-sized white onion and a clove of garlic finely chopped, 2 tablespoons of rolled oats, 1 egg, coriander, 3/4 of a teaspoon. We have nutmeg as well, about a half a teaspoon or so. 1 teaspoon of curry powder of your choice, a generous pinch of ground cloves, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, fresh salt, and freshly cracked black pepper. Let's say just a general pinch. Tablespoon of vinegar. I chose apple cider vinegar. You can also use red wine vinegar, or you can use sherry vinegar too. 25 grams or milliliters of Worcestershire sauce, 50 grams of chutney. If you do not have chutney or a sweet Indian style chutney, you can use apricot jam, works really well, or you can just use the equivalent brown sugar, and the same quantity, 50 grams of ketchup, tomato ketchup. So these are your ingredients. You also need 2 slices of white bread soaked in milk. So soak it really well, squeeze all the milk out, and then have something that is fairly dry. Make sure that it has completely absorbed. You can also use a regular baguette. That's actually what I used to do today. So I use the equivalent of 2 slices of regular white bread, but I chose a baguette that I cubed and then soaked in milk. So once it's soaked all the milk, I remove the excess, and as you can see, it's fairly dry. Okay? So once you have all your ingredients lined up, you can then proceed to mix your frikadel. So to start with your spices, so get everything in there. Okay, I have my coriander, I have my nutmeg, my curry powder. So I have the generous pinch of cloves, my salt and pepper, okay, and then your onion and garlic mix, okay, your oats, your egg, your vinegar, soaked bread. Make sure that you choose a bowl big enough for you to maneuver as you're gonna be folding and mixing with your hands. So if you choose a bowl that is too small, it might be a little complicated and things will start overflowing. So make sure that you have a large enough bowl for all of this. Worcestershire sauce, I can never pronounce that. It's been 20 years cooking. And then with a spatula to make sure that you get everything out, get that chutney. And ketchup. Okay, clean hands, get them nice and dirty now. We're going to very gently just fold everything from the bottom, making sure all that beef is thoroughly combined with your ingredients while you rotate with the other hand. So, after trying a few times, I've found out that using a standard muffin tin works really well in helping you shape your meatballs, and that they stay in that shape and they cook in their own juices as well individually. So what I've taken into consideration here is as well the size of these meatballs. Since they're going to shrink slightly, I aim for about 130 grams per meatball. And I use my standard pastry scale to help me make sure they're as accurate as possible. One single recipe will give you about 10 130 gram meatballs, so keep that in mind. Shaping them, fairly easy, just like this one. Make sure that they're weighed properly and then give them a nice round shape. Pre-grease if necessary. If you have a silicone muffin tins or muffin molds, then you don't have to worry about that. But generally, I mean, these are pretty good and non-stick, and they haven't been scratched. But if they are, just make sure you have a nice coating of vegetable oil and place them in there. So once again, just weigh them. Sure, they're roughly 130 grams or so. Okay. And they will go in a 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 Celsius oven for roughly 30 to 40 minutes. So after roughly 30 minutes, I have a little convection oven in my kitchen which works great for any small batches. There's your meatballs. They are ready. As you can see, I only had space for 6 meatballs on my little muffin tin. So with the remainder mix, I also made a small meatloaf that I'm sure my 1-year-old son will enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you give this recipe a try. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Bye for now.